Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at the WZ-120. Now, this tank used to be one of the worst tanks in the game. Now, Wargaming have gave it a little buff. They gave it a gun depression buff, which was much needed. It used to have about 3 degrees of gun depression, and it was awful. Absolutely awful, and it literally made the tank suck. So we're just going to have a look at the tank and to see if it's any better. So we are going to look at blitzstars.com just to compare this tank with a couple of others in tier 9, like the T54 and the Leopard PTA. So the DPM wise is not bad. Yes, it is lower than the other medium tanks, but it does have that high alpha. It has the 400 alpha, whereas all the others has sort of the 300, 350 alpha. So basically it's a heavy gun. It does have a heavy gun. It hasn't got the 420 alpha like the 121 has got, but you know, it would have been nice for Wargaming to give it that 420, but you know, 400 still not too bad when you're coming up against tier 8 tanks. But I would have still liked to have seen the 420 alpha on this tank, like the 121. Penetration 120, not the best, but as you can see with the T54, not the worst either. And it does 280 on the heat, so yeah, not the best, but you know, it does the job. But it could do with a little bit more, I suppose. But you know, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. Rate of fire 7.12, reload 8.42 seconds, and of course it is the 122 caliber gun. Shell velocity 950. Aim time really good at 0.91. Dispersion 0.344. So really good aim time, but the accuracy is not great at all. And now it has 5 degrees of gun depression. Yes, 5 degrees, up from 3 degrees to 5 degrees. Speed 56 kilometers an hour, pretty average for a medium tank in tier 9. And now we look at the armor profile. So 220 millimeters of turret armor, which is nice indeed, better than that of the T54, which is also really strong. And of course, if you're on the ridgeline now using that 5 degrees of gun depression, you can get a few bounced shots. It also has 104 on your hull as well, which is not the best, but you know, you're able to bounce some shots, not everything, but you are able to bounce some. Let's see what the top damage is. So you can see only 7,200 damage. I thought maybe these tanks would have got a bit more damage, but no. But overall, let's go and check this game out, this tank out in a few battles. So we have 2 battles for you today. Both are me, nothing special, nothing spectacular, but I wanted to use my own replays here because, you know, I was always saying that this tank was the worst tier 9, and after the buff I didn't really want to use other people's replays and then say, yeah, it's actually a really good tank. I wanted to play the tank myself and decide myself, is it still a bad tank, or is it got better, and is it actually now a good tank? So Ford Creek here, we push to the right side, and we do get shot from the T49 straight up, but we only lose sort of 280 or so hit points. And now because he's shot, I do have another medium tank with me, and we are going to rush this guy, and we're going to use a nice HE, 527 damage done to this T49, and we block 780 into our turret. He shoots HE into our gun, which is very nice indeed, and he's gone. He is dead very quickly. Now we have the Centurion 7-1. He was AFK, but he does actually come back alive now, so we do manage to get a free shot into him. He is going to shoot us, but we really sort of want to take care of him. He's got great DPM, and of course he is a quick tank now, especially if he's using the Hesh gun as well. He can really deal some damage. But yeah, overall playing the tank, I think, you know what, it's not actually too bad now. It would have been nice for more gun depression, because even though it's got 5 degrees, it's still not the best at with the gun depression wise, but you know, it's much better than the 3 degrees that it had. So it's a lot better. The tank, just with the extra gun depression, it has made the tank into a much better tank, and you can can get into those positions that you couldn't used to get in. Yes, you still can't get into bigger ridge lines, you still have to poke over the ridge line to get your shot off, but there are some hills that used to really piss me off, because it's like there was nothing really there, but your gun, you still could not get your gun over. But at least now, with the extra 2 degrees of gun depression, you are able to do that, and you're able to get the shots off without exposing yourself. And because you got that turret as well, you couldn't really use that turret. Yes, you could go hold down, but for me it just seemed pointless, because you're not able to get that shot off. So yes, you might get a bounce, but then you have to expose your whole tank to get that shot off to you. Then you got to again back off again behind the ridgeline. So nice easy 3.2k damage there. I mean, nothing special, but that was actually a really quick game. So yeah, I am feeling it. I am feeling that the tank is a much better tank. Whether it's the best, I don't think so. It's definitely not the best of tier 9 tanks, and I would probably still say that it's one of the worst tier 9 tanks. You still got the Leopard, you still have the T54. I wouldn't say it's actually the worst. I do prefer this over the M46 pattern, and maybe over the E50. I haven't really played the E50 for a while, but yeah, just mainly because of that turret. Excuse me. The high alpha as well. I think if Wargaming gave it the 420 alpha, I do honestly think this would be a fantastic tank, even with 5 degrees of gun depression. But yeah, they don't. It's only got the 400 alpha. It only has the 5 degrees of gun depression. But yeah, I do think it has made a big difference. I do think it has made a massive difference. Giving it the extra 2 degrees of gun depression really does help. Sometimes you won't feel that it's made a big difference until you're able to get into those positions where you wouldn't normally be able to get the shot off. So until you get into those positions, even there, I might not have. Back then, with the 3 degrees of gun depression, I might not have even got that shot off onto the bottom plate. That's how bad the tank was when it only had the 3 degrees of gun depression. But now you are able to get those shots off. So yes, it's a nicer tank. It's a nicer tank. Still wouldn't rate it as one of the best. There is still there's quite a few medium tanks out there in tier 9 that I would definitely pick over this. This still isn't the tank that I would a go-to tank. It's still not one of those tanks. You know what? I'm going to go and play the 120. But you know, they've made it better. They've made the grind a lot more better, a lot more enjoyable. Now you don't have to struggle driving this tank to get to the 120. Of course, the 120 is better than this in pretty much every single way. But it's not as bad. It's not as bad, and I like to see that. So yeah, it's not the best of tanks, but it's made grindable and made much better just with that extra 2 degrees of gun depression. So 1600 damage here. Of course, playing the tank, you still need to try and get into those ridge lines. Use the turret, because the turret is absolutely fantastic on this tank. When you're using the gun depression, when you're using the ridge lines, you can get an awful lot of bounces in this tank. But you didn't really get a lot of bounces before, because no one really got into the hold down positions that it could get into because of the gun depression. But yeah, I'm enjoying the tank. I am enjoying the tank, but it's still not the best of tanks out there in tier 9. So we're just going to finish up this battle now. We've managed to farm up 2k damage. There's only 4 tanks left alive. We've got the T57 behind us, which he is now taking care of, and we've got these guys in front. So I'm going to aim at the FE4202 because he's low hit points, and he can actually do a lot of damage using the Hesh into me, and we do manage to clear him, as you can see there. So just these 2 patterns now left alive. I don't want to just rush him, because I am a 2-shot. If they both shoot me together, they are both in a platoon, so we need to play we need to be a bit patient here. We're going to win the game. It's a 6 versus 2, and I don't want to take unnecessary shots when I can still farm up a bit of damage. We're on 2.7k damage, so we haven't done too bad, but you know, it's just one of those average games. Nothing special, but nothing too bad. So at this point, our team is pushing. We are able to push these guys. There goes one pattern, and we're just going to push this other pattern. We do get a shot from him, and at this point, I don't mind taking a shot, but we don't manage to get the kill. So yeah, as I've said, overall, not a bad tank. It really did need that buff. I'd love to see it get the 420 alpha, just like the 121, but it's still not a bad tank. It really did need that buff, and thank you, Wargaming, for buffing the tank. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.